They sat me with the servers at my own mother's birthday party, like I was part of the staff, not her daughter, not just at the kids' table, not even in the overflow dining room. Right next to the kitchen door, behind the bar, between two waiters I didn't know. I smiled, like I always do. But inside, something sharp and old twisted deeper. If you're enjoying this, please subscribe and share, your support keeps the stories coming. Sorry. Amelia, my sister Diana had said just minutes earlier, feigning innocence with that tight smile of hers. We ran out of seats. You understand, right? I did understand. I understood it perfectly. This wasn't a mistake. It was tradition. Ever since I left home at 22, after refusing to marry the dentist they picked for me, I'd been a punchline at family gatherings. Still working at that burger joint? Heard you're some kind of waitress manager now. When are you going to get a real job? They never asked where I lived. They didn't know I owned that burger joint. Or that I owned 3 more just like it. They didn't know I had 72 employees, for investors, or that Forbes had named me one of the top 40 under 40 in hospitality. They didn't care. In their world, success looked like law school or med school, not 5 years of double shifts, silent suffering, and relentless grind in the back of a hot kitchen. Can I get you anything? The server beside me asked politely, balancing a tray of half-empty wine glasses. Just a gin and tonic, thanks, I replied, smiling. He paused. You're not staff? I shook my head, still smiling. Oh, he blinked, clearly mortified. Sorry. You were at the, it's fine, I cut him off gently. Not your fault. Meanwhile, at the head table, my cousin Jennifer was announcing her 3rd pregnancy like she'd just landed on the moon. Everyone clapped. My father toasted. My mother wiped away tears. Diana squeezed her hand like she was the Virgin Mary. I picked at the cold asparagus on my plate and stared at the wall of family photos they'd set up for the occasion. Not one had me in it. Isn't this cozy? Diana's voice again, from behind. She bent slightly to whisper, her breath warm and smug. I mean, given your career path, I figured you'd feel right at home back here. I turned, held her gaze. You know what, Diana? You're right. I do feel at home in restaurants. Just usually the ones I own. She snorted, flipping her hair. Sure, Amelia. That's when Marcus walked in, a tall, commanding, blazer still crisp from the plane. Marcus Lane, my investor, mentor, and sometimes co-strategist. He didn't know it was my mom's birthday until last night when we wrapped up a late Zoom with our Chicago partners. I'd mentioned it in passing. Didn't expect him to show, but there he was, and the second he spotted me, sitting behind the bar with the staff, his expression changed. Amelia? He called across the room, confused but smiling. Why are you back here? Conversation stopped. Heads turned. Diana went pale. Come on, he said, waving me over. They've got you in the wrong place. I stood, slow and steady, as a dozen curious eyes followed me. It's fine, I murmured. No, he said, loudly now, eyes on my parents. She's not supposed to be back here. She's the boss. He said it like it was obvious. Like everyone should have already known. The boss? My uncle repeated, frowning. Marcus nodded. Of North Row Hospitality. You know, 5 restaurants, 4 cities. That boss. Silence rolled through the room like thunder. My mother's glass tilted slightly in her hand. My father's jaw slackened. Jennifer looked confused. Diana looked like she might faint. Marcus extended his hand to me as I stepped into the main dining area. Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to thank the woman responsible for the best dining group I've ever worked with. None of this happens without her. Nobody clapped, nobody said a word, but their faces said everything, and just when I thought it couldn't get more awkward, my mother stood up slowly, smoothing her cardigan like she needed something to do with her hands. Why didn't you tell us? She asked, voice shaking with something between guilt and disbelief. Why didn't you say it was your company? My mouth opened, but no words came. 20 years of being dismissed don't fit neatly into one dinner speech, and that's when Diana, face burning, arms crossed, muttered under her breath, still doesn't mean she's better than the rest of us. I turned to her, pulse rising, but Marcus heard it too, and he turned, calm as ever, and said something that changed the entire room's temperature. Actually, Diana. She's your boss now too. The room cracked. Not literally, but you could feel it. Like a dam breaking. Diana blinked at Marcus, confused, then laughed. You're kidding. He didn't laugh back. Wait, what do you mean, she's my boss? She said, eyes darting between us. I work in real estate. Marcus took a slow sip of his drink, clearly savoring the moment. You do? And the new culinary concept going into your development downtown? The anchor tenant? That's us. Lease was finalized last week. Guess whose signature's on the deal? Diana's lips parted. No sound came out. Mine did. Surprise. Her face dropped. For the first time in my adult life, Diana was speechless. I wanted to enjoy it, to freeze the second and replay it for every Thanksgiving where she called me a dropout. Every Christmas she handed me gift cards with, "Maybe this will help you finish school," scribbled on the envelope. But what I felt wasn't triumph. It was something colder. Older. Exhaustion, because that moment, that awful, glorious, vindicating moment, didn't undo the years before my mother sat down slowly, like her knees couldn't hold her. Her fingers trembled on the edge of the tablecloth. My father cleared his throat, muttered something about needing air, and stepped outside. "Amelia," my uncle finally said, scratching his temple, "you own restaurants?" I nodded. 5. 2 in Seattle, 1 in Austin, 1 in Chicago, and 1 opening in San Diego next month. Plus a production kitchen and corporate HQ. They stared like I'd said I was a brain surgeon. "It's not that crazy," Marcus added, clearly enjoying the spotlight. "She's been working 16-hour days for the past decade. She runs one of the leanest, most profitable independent hospitality groups in the state. Big-name chefs want to work for her. Real estate developers court her. Investors listen when she talks. She's not just successful, she's feared." The room reacted like he'd dropped a bomb. Even Jennifer stopped scrolling her phone. Then, in the most Diana move imaginable, she tried to spin it. "Well? I mean, good for you," she said, forcing a laugh. "Guess it's not all burgers and fryers after all." Marcus arched a brow. "It's never been about burgers. It's about brand, culture, execution. But sure, if you ever want to learn about EBITDA margins or build out budgets, Amelia can give you a masterclass." My cousin Ryan, the one who mocked me at the last family reunion for still bussing tables, leaned forward, squinting. Wait. Didn't I see your name on some magazine thing?" I turned slightly. "Probably. Forbes, Bon Appetit, Business Insider. Depends on which airport you were in." That got a few chuckles from the servers still lingering near the bar. One of them, Jake, leaned toward me and whispered, "You're kind of a legend in the kitchen, just so you know. My chef talks about you like you're Beyoncé." I almost laughed, but the real moment came when my mom finally spoke again. "You should have told us." I looked at her. Really looked at her. And I said something I'd never dared say before. "I did. You just never listened." It landed like a punch. The rest of dinner unraveled quietly. No one joked at my expense. No one called me waitress girl. The table avoided my gaze like I'd grown horns. I sat in the seat Marcus pulled out for me, dead center, facing the family. They spoke in hushed tones. A few came up afterward to awkwardly congratulate me. Their voices tight with shame or confusion or both. Diana didn't speak to me again that night, but what happened after dinner was even more unexpected. I was walking to my car, heels in hand, when I heard footsteps behind me. "Amelia." "Wait." I turned. Diana. Her makeup slightly smudged. Arms folded like armor. She stopped, exhaled. "Look. I didn't know." I nodded. "Clearly." She winced. "You're mad." "No. I'm tired." We stood there in the parking lot like strangers, then she said something I never thought I'd hear. "I was jealous." "Okay? You got out. You built something. I've been living a life I never even chose. I married who they wanted, got the job they liked. And all this time, I told myself I was better than you just to keep from falling apart." The words sat heavy between us. "I'm sorry," she added, quietly. "For everything." It should have felt satisfying. Instead, I felt worried. I studied her face. "Sorry's a start. But I don't know if it's enough." Diana nodded slowly. "I know. I wouldn't believe me either. Just, if you ever want to talk. Really talk. I'm here." And then she walked off, not with her usual strut, but slower. Like she was thinking about every step. The next morning, I woke up to a message from my mom. I had no idea. "I'm sorry. Can we talk? I want to see what you've built." I stared at it for a long time, then I replied, "Come by the HQ on Wednesday. I'll give you the tour." My mother showed up 5 minutes early, dressed like she was attending a funeral or an investor meeting. I wasn't sure which. Black blazer. Nude pumps. A handbag I didn't recognize. She clutched it like armor as I led her through the glass doors of the North Row Hospitality headquarters. "Is this all yours?" she asked, her voice small, eyes scanning the open floor plan. "Yes," I said simply. A few heads turned as we walked past the main conference room. Daniel, my director of operations and one of the few people who saw me cry during our first failed launch, gave me a nod of quiet respect. He'd been with me since year 3. He knew every scar, every sacrifice. Mom's heels clicked as she followed me past framed photos of our first storefront. Our first investor check, our first food and wine award. I said nothing. I wanted her to feel the silence. She stopped in front of a wall-sized canvas photo, a bustling kitchen line. Steam rising, a chef plating with tweezers. In the background, me, Clipboard in hand, ponytail messy, yelling something to the expo station. You look. She paused. You look important. I turned. I am important. She flinched. Not because I said it, but because I meant it. I didn't know, she whispered. You didn't ask, I replied. We stood there. Two women with the same eyes and completely different histories. I thought you were lost, she said. For years, I thought you'd thrown everything away. I did throw everything away, I said. Everything you wanted. And I built something better. Her face crumpled, not all at once, but gradually, like a slow fall. I'm sorry. I was wrong. About you. About everything. This time, I believed her. She didn't fill the silence with excuses. Didn't ask for credit. She just looked around, wide-eyed, finally seeing me not as a disappointment, but as a woman who fought like hell to build something real. When the tour was over, she hugged me in the parking lot. Not like a mother comforting a daughter, but like someone holding on to something they almost lost. I didn't cry. I'd already cried enough for this family. Later that week, Diana sent a short text. I know words don't fix everything. But if you're open to it, I'd like to come see your restaurants. No cameras. No pretending. Just me. I stared at the message for a long time, and then I typed back, I'll put your name on the guest list. Just don't show up late, we run a tight ship. No emojis. No smiley face. Just a line of respect. Professional. Distant. Earned. That Sunday night, I sat on the rooftop of our Chicago location. The skyline was lit like a stage set. Daniel brought me a glass of wine and sat beside me in silence, like he always did when I needed space. I saw the article, he said after a while. The one in Entrepreneur. They called you the Queen of Quiet Empires. I smirked. Guess I'm not that quiet anymore. He raised his glass. To power. To peace. I clinked his glass, but in my head. The toast was different. To every woman they called a failure. To every underdog who never needed permission. To every quiet builder. They mocked until it was too late. I'd spent most of my life chasing my family's approval, molding myself into something palatable, familiar, small, but now? Now I understood. I didn't need their validation. I had something better, respect, boundaries. A life I built on my own damn terms, and anyone who wanted to be part of it would have to meet me where I stood now, not behind the bar, not at the kids' table, not in the shadow of anyone else's dreams, but here. At the head of the table.